evening, everybody. Welcome to the July Borough of Monmouth Beach meeting. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting was included in an annual notice of meeting sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times, and in addition, a copy of the notice was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and filed in the office of the municipal clerk, where it remains continuously posted as required by law. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joyce, can you call the meeting to order?
Commissioner Walsh?
Here.
Commissioner Stickle?
Here.
Mayor Summers?
Here. Can I get a motion that the minutes of the previous meeting held on June 24th and June 30th be dispensed with and that they stand as recorded?
So moved.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Stickle?
Yes.
Mayor Summers?
Yes. Consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certificate of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Before I read the consent agenda items, I'm going to pull number 1, number 2, and number 3, and we'll discuss those after. Gentlemen?
Fine by me, yeah.
Dave?
Okay.
Number 4, renewal of a shared service agreement with Monmouth County for tax map maintenance service from 1/1/26 through 12/31/30. Number 5, authorizing the continued participation in the Long Branch commodity resale system for purchase of diesel fuel and unleaded gasoline through April 25th, 2028. Number 6, appointing Irina Dar as our Environmental Commission Secretary effective July 22nd, 2026. Number 7, authorizing the purchase and upfit of a police vehicle through the New Jersey Co-op Purchasing Program. Number 8, confirmation of project completion, Griffin Park Phase 2 improvements closing statement. Number 9, confirmation of project completion, Griffin Park Phase 3 improvements closing statement. And number 10, the bylaws of the Monmouth Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. Can I get a motion that the consent agenda items that I just listed, items 4 through 10, be passed and adopted?
So moved.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Stickle?
Yes.
Mayor Summers?
Yes. Items 1, 2, and 3 on the consent agenda are connected to the health benefits for the employees of the Borough of Monmouth Beach. The commissioners are in the investigation stages now of trying to find an alternative to the current insurance we provide our employees. Like all municipalities in the state, we're required to provide health insurance. And over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, many of you have probably heard, the insurance in New Jersey has become unaffordable for most municipalities. We were hit with a 27% increase, I believe it was, this year, and the estimated percentage increase at this moment for next year is 22%. It's becoming impossible for us as a municipality to continue like this, and so we are trying to find ways that we can reduce, like most towns, our insurance costs. It's not an attempt to reduce the benefits for the employees, but a way that we can find other things on the market that may help us. So these 3 items are for that. Do you want to comment?
Yes. If you don't mind, Mayor. So we have been doing some research on this for over a year, and I think that we've come up with a pretty good solution. That solution, if it comes to fruition the way we're thinking, would actually save our employees money as well as the borough money, because this isn't just about saving us money. Many of our employees, we have a bunch of them sitting here in the back of the room, when they came to work on January 1st, they took home less pay thanks to the current state health fund that everybody's in. So we're hoping, and as Mayor Summers said, we're still doing preliminary discussions on this, but we are hoping that we can maintain the same level of coverage or better and offer additional options that are not offered through the health state fund. The state fund, you get what they offer, and that's it. This other fund that we're looking at, if you want me to elaborate a little, it allows us to pick different plans and different levels of deductibles. Okay, so everybody worries about a deductible. There's other options we can look at also that we can't with the state fund on a deductible. So I know it's been mentioned to me by several people about deductibles, and we have a concern about that ourselves. We also have a concern about how we manage those deductibles and what additional resources are required by the town in order to handle those additional bills that may come in. So we're looking at that as well. These three items that are on here to give us the opportunity to get into this Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund, or CJHIF, as everybody calls it. There are many other towns around here that are in that, including Little Silver, Fairhaven. I think there's 67 different, there are a bunch of authorities. I think there's 67 different entities that are involved in this now. It only started 3 years ago. A lot of people are jumping into it. You have to get accepted. The way you get accepted is you need a low experience rating, which means not many claims. It also works more of an individual fund, which allows us to have better control over what our actual costs are. It's not all perfect, because the one disadvantage on this, the way this fund is set up is, if we run over what we think we're going to spend on healthcare for the borough this year, say, let's use 26 as an example, we would have to come up with the difference in 27's budget. So we got to pay back if we run over. If you run over in the state health fund, nobody comes back to you and says you have to give us that extra money back. But in all of our discussions, I don't think, my personal opinion is that the state healthcare fund is not going to be around for another 5 years. So there are opportunities to get into other funds. This is the time with our low experience rating. And we're looking at this, and we're looking at a couple other programs also. So far, Central Jersey HIF has been the most enticing program to get into, I'll put it that way. And the reason these resolutions are on here is we have a timeline. We were accepted, and we have a 90-day timeline, which expires in, Anthony's not here, but I think it's like August 9th, before our next meeting. So just because we passed the resolution doesn't mean we're going to join, but we can't join without a resolution.
So these items are for us to proceed so that we can move and investigate this further. If we do not do this, we will not be able to look into it, because that's how they work. So we have to do a resolution that we're terminating our health benefits from the state health benefits plan. It doesn't mean we're doing that. We also have an obligation, because we have a contractual obligation with the police department separate from the borough employees, and their contract is worded differently. So in the case of the police department, we have to provide them with a set health plan that matches what they have contractually. Or better, and that will not change. But we have to try to manage this effectively for the borough. And the only way to do that is to allow us the time to investigate these funds and find a plan that might be better for all of us. We can't do that unless we pass a resolution and show the CJIF that we're moving in that direction, so they'll accept our application. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
CHIF.
So CHIF, yeah.
Health Insurance Fund, as opposed to the JIF, which is the borough's liability insurance.
So none of this is changing our health benefits tonight. It may sound like that. That is not what's happening here. We're trying to allow ourselves the room to negotiate and find a better plan.
And for those that are in here that are on the current plan, Blue Cross and Blue Shield is included in Central Jersey HIF. So for many that like to keep their existing doctors, we're still examining that, but we believe you'll be able to keep all of your doctors. That's a very enticing part of this plan. So.
Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. What I wanted to say, Mayor Summers covered it. This is being done so we can explore, not get out. If we choose not to get out, we don't get out. but then we have to deal with the increased premiums again. So rest assured, we're not doing something behind anybody's back. And then the promise that was made that you'll have an opportunity with your collective bargaining agreement to meet with us when we find those alternatives is still on the table. But this resolution, as Tim and Dave said, had to be done in order for us to just begin to explore and other options. Without the resolution, can't explore. We're not making any changes. We may not make any changes, but we have to consider changes because 50% increase over 2 years is unsustainable. And, then if we do keep it that way, the residents' taxes will just continue to rise. And that's something we have to continue to look at. So glad you're here together, and please share that with those that might think of a concern that we're terminating what you have. Not the case. Thank you.
Is that why you guys are here? Well, we never asked. Yeah?
Yep.
And there, look, as both of my fellow commissioners have said, there will be a meeting with you guys first because you have the written contract, and that kind of guides how the rest of the borough goes based on your contract. So there will be a meeting with you guys to explain everything, and then we would expect your input, good or bad, on and your opinions on this from the rank and file. And that's going to happen if we do this the right way sometime within the next week or 2 weeks. So very quickly here. There is I believe a 60-day exit clause for the state plan, and there's at least a 60-day waiting period to get into this once we decide we definitely want to do it.
You'll have that opportunity when you'll see your benefits today, your like-kind benefits with other plans, and that's all going to be fully transparent. And I'll go on the record to say we would never do something that would not include you in the decision-making based on the agreements we have.
You better turn your mic on if you're going to go on record.
On record. Joyce, I'm on record. We appreciate everything you do for this community, and we would not do something that did not include you in the decision-making. So we wanted you to be aware of that. So thank you for coming in.
And by the way, I apologize for not presenting that to you that way. That was never the intention here. Anthony's on vacation, and normally Anthony would have got up out of his seat and walked over and said something, but that's not what happened here. So we've been busy this week with other items, and it's my fault for not explaining that to you. So this is not in any way a change in health plan, but it's a window we have to open so we can go further. Otherwise, we may miss the open season that's coming in the fall. So it's a time frame thing.
There's an enrollment period. We have to meet the deadlines to get in that enrollment period. And interestingly enough, there might actually be 2 enrollment periods. One that starts in like October 1st, and then a second opportunity to select and change programs within the plan starting out for January 1st. So we're going to try to keep it as simple as we can, try to match what we have now, and then have more time to discuss and more time for all of our employees to figure out if they want to change their own plan personally. Right now, you do not have that option. Everybody gets the same plan. But you will have more personalization as time goes on if we change plans, especially to this Central Jersey HIF. Okay?
So, get a motion to open the floor.
Yeah, I was just
Get a
thinking.
motion to open the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, a little unusual, but we're going to open the floor for a few minutes here. If anybody in the public, I know this is all very confusing, but it's also very public to everybody. Is there anyone that has any questions about what we just said?
You guys are the public. As well as employees, you qualify twice.
And you can't leave till the end of the meeting now. You have to stay for the rest of the agenda also.
I'm giving you the chance. I'm giving you the chance to leave if you want to after this. So, again, if you had any questions, and certainly if you. I didn't hear what you said.
He said we clarified it.
Good. Okay, and Anthony will be back next week, and I'm sure by then we should have a better picture and timeline about when we're going to set this up. We have to do this first before we can get on the phone and even make those schedules. So that's what's happening.
I'm gonna give you guys a little more input. I have a friend who's a councilman in Little Silver. He's one of the commissioners and one of the people that started this Central Jersey HIF. He's the one that's explained this to us, and it's been very enlightening how everything works in the healthcare industry, which is the industry that he's in. And it doesn't surprise me that the state fund is $500 million underwater.
Okay, all right. Seeing no, any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve the consent
You wanna
agenda?
close to the public again, or do you
All
want,
right,
we can leave it,
we can leave it open if anybody has a
Okay.
question. Can I get a motion to approve items 1, 2, and 3 on the consent agenda? Passed and adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Sickle?
Yes.
Mayor Summers?
Yes. Bills. Can I get a motion on the bills that are totaling $244,016.52 be approved for payment?
Reviewed and approved. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Sickle? Mayor Summers?
Yes.
We have an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 11 Beaches, Booths, Pavilion, and Waterways, Section 11-2, Rules and Regulations, Fees, subsection 11-2.2, Facility Fees, Beach Rates, and Bathhouse Charges of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Monmouth Beach to amend fee policy for replacement badges. This is being read by title only. There will be a public hearing next month.
Can I get a motion that the ordinance be passed on title only and that the clerk be instructed to advertise the ordinance for a public hearing to be held on August 26, 2026 at the meeting beginning at 7 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Sickle?
Yes.
Mayor Summers?
Yes.
We have an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the Borough of Monmouth Beach, County of Monmouth, approving the purchase of 25 Meadow Avenue, Monmouth Beach. This is a public hearing. There are copies of the ordinance in front of the room.
Can I get a motion that the ordinance be opened to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Sickle?
Yes.
Mayor Summers?
Yes. This is an ordinance that appropriates funding from our Fair Share Housing Program to purchase a housing unit at number 25 Meadow Avenue. This is a two-bedroom, yes? I believe it's our first two-bedroom unit.
Yes.
And so we're under the order of the state to follow the Fair Share Housing rules, and we are, short by quite a few number. We
40,
negotiated...
49.
Yeah, about 49, right? So we negotiated with them again this past year, and we had an agreement with them that we would begin to purchase at least one more, maybe possibly two if we can find. But it's hard to find them in Monmouth Beach, as you well know. But we were lucky enough to find this unit, and we're going to go ahead and move to purchase it. Does anyone from the public have any questions?
Yes, I do.
Could you please state your name and address, sir?
Richard Lorner, 148 Ocean Avenue. Thank you for the opportunity to ask my questions. My first question is, we're buying for $640. What are we selling for? $640 or a number below $640?
At the moment, I don't think we've determined when we're going to be making a sale. If we do, first we have to take, the unit, buy the unit, and in the process figure that out, Richard. But obviously, we'll try to make sure we make a profit on it if we can. That would be the goal. And in Monmouth Beach, most prices don't drop, so we're hoping that the price will go up in the meantime, but it's going to be a few months before that.
So the second question is, are we giving a mortgage to the prospective buyer, or do they have to get their own mortgage?
I believe this would go
Well,
through
we're paying out of our Fair Share Housing Fund to buy this unit. That Fair Share Housing Fund has, as you heard, over $1 million in it. I think it's over $1.2 million. And that's, everybody that builds something in town has to contribute to the Fair Share Housing Fund. It's a percentage based on costs. So that fund went in the last, I'm gonna say, 7 years from about $240,000 all the way up to where it is today. It's over $1.2 million.
Yes, there was a discussion on that
In the
one of
planning board
the,
meeting, planning and zoning. So,
one of the meetings.
if we sit on that money and don't do anything with it, the state will take it away. They will claw it back and spend it somewhere else, and that doesn't help us meet our fair share housing requirement, There is go back to your first question, and Mayor Summers elaborated a little that, most likely not immediately be putting a tenant in here. The unit that we have in Wharfside, we have we have a law firm that handles who gets the unit. Fair share housing goes through a lottery system, and you have to apply. So we don't have the right just to put somebody in this unit. Initially, I would think it would sit for a while. There are other options out there now with this latest round of fair share housing, the legal battle, that allows municipalities to just say farm it out to a management company. In some of those cases, they actually purchase the property. In some, they don't. It depends on the town's ratios and how many properties the town already has. So I personally, from what I've heard, don't think we're gonna qualify to resell this unit, but we certainly qualify to have somebody else manage it for us.
Okay.
We don't want to be in the business of managing or being a housing authority.
We are
Being a
currently
landlord is very tough.
in our unit in Wharfside, we are currently managing that ourselves. I should say Director Churchill is managing it.
Okay, I
Because
have
when
two
something
more
breaks, he gets the
questions.
phone call. But we're gonna try to add that one to this other firm's
Who will-
management abilities.
Who will be responsible for the monthly homeowners association fee that
The borough
Sandspoint
would be
North
responsible
levies
for that
on-
the borough would be responsible until it gets handed off on a management basis to somebody
so
else.
once the deed goes to the prospective approvee,
I think it's more like a
they
lease,
are
a lease
responsible.
agreement is what I think it is, as opposed to a deed. Depends on whether transfer of title ever occurs.
Okay, so the last question, somewhere in here it says that the deed will be subject to deed restrictions. Is that correct, Counselor?
I believe so. I haven't read the deed, to be fair, but I believe
Okay.
that is a requirement.
So the
of this.
question is, will the prospective approvee be restricted from re-renting that apartment?
I believe that is part
I
of the
think that's part of the
restrictions.
fair share.
You can't get the benefit of a fair share housing and then rent it at market rate. It has to be used by the person who is selected through the
Right, but
lottery.
that doesn't mean they can't leave for 2 weeks and unbeknownst to us, rent it out for 2 weeks in July or August and then move back in. So I'm suggesting that in the deed restrictions, that it merely be noted that per our good graces, they cannot re-rent the apartment, either for short or long term, and should they desire to re-rent the apartment for a long term, that they have to offer it back to the borough. That's my suggestion.
I will double check that. I think that's already in place, but I can't say for sure, but I
That's
will
great.
double check and I
Thank
think
you
we're
for
on
the
track for that.
opportunity to ask my
Thank you.
questions, gentlemen. Good luck being landlords.
All right, does anyone else have any questions on the ordinance? All right, can I get a motion to close the meeting?
Motion,
A motion to close the meeting to the public.
so.
Okay.
so
Can I get a
moved.
motion
Second.
that the ordinance be passed and adopted after a second reading?
We jumped ahead on
We
it.
did. I thought they answered.
Just,
Somebody just seconded.
Second it.
I second you, Larry made the motion. Yes.
Yes. All right, we good?
Yes.
We're good.
Jumped ahead.
Anthony, he's not here. Borough Attorney, you have anything for us today?
No
After
report.
your long day today?
Yeah. Not yet. No report.
Julie is also away this month, and the police chief. You're here.
I did. I just did a quick stat on how we are this year compared to last year. All sources are down a little bit. Our arrests all our proactive activity is up. Thank you, Jeff. And with calls going down and proactive arrests, DWIs are up 100%, and it just shows that the group that just walked out is working pretty hard this year.
They didn't even stay to get you to hear you compliment them.
I'm sure you do that every week anyway, so.
That's on a daily basis. I
Yeah,
compliment them. Then this last month's been a fun month for us. It's the busiest month of the season for us. It's the busiest week of the season over 4th of July. Besides all the fun we usually have. We threw in some wind, some fire, some rain, and it really was been a busy month for us.
All right, that's it?
That's it.
Thank you.
All right, very good. And listen, honestly, in the last few weeks, between the last month's celebration and all of the weather events that have gone on in the last few weeks, you guys really stepped up. We appreciate it. I know it was mayhem there for a few minutes, but you know, it was. Thank you. All right, we have you didn't give a report last month. You were away, I think, right?
Yes.
You have a report. You're on.
So over the last 2 weeks, we installed the speed limit signs on West Street. So you'll see them when you go down there, Lincoln. And as the chief said, garbage over the 4th of July weekend was unbelievable. So we did 20 tons on Monday and 16 on Tuesday, and we moved the average about 10 tons per day.
Wow.
Also, the recycling went from 8.8 tons, and it's normally about 5 tons. So a lot of material that week. Just picture Andy working, two speed signs, installing them. Then the last one that's today. So we installed new garbage cans on the overflow lot this morning at about 6:20. And this picture is taken about 7:20. That a resident packed the garbage from their household in there.
Is there a camera? Is there a camera to catch?
Overflow lot.
Overflow lot.
Oh my God.
There's no carpeting in there anymore.
So Joe, if I remember a discussion from years back with Dennis Collins, he didn't seem to think we could do an ordinance about putting household garbage.
But when people go by and say the garbage is full, I can't do it every hour.
You can't dump garbage every hour?
It's not possible. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't mean we couldn't put a sign up that says no household garbage. Am I correct with that, Counselor? So maybe we want to put a sign up on that, one of those nice poles right there that says no household garbage?
That'll make it stop.
Well,
How about a camera?
Well, there's no ordinance against putting garbage in the garbage can.
right, but
What is it filled with in less than an hour?
I've seen people put it in, it's not all from residents. There's people driving through town that see the can and stop and empty their car,
Yeah.
so.
So I know it's not in the wheelhouse of the police department, but if we, now that you're aware of this, maybe you let them know if they see it, maybe they could just say a word to the folks and.
Don't throw garbage in garbage. Well, don't fill it.
I mean, if they know that somebody gets you know how this works. If somebody hears that the police stopped them and said something, that'll stop 99% of it because nobody wants to be that person. So obviously it was somebody. It was somebody from the surrounding houses that saw it and took the opportunity. So
They wanted to use the new can and christen it.
it's a shame. All right, Joe, do you have anything else?
At least there's a flag. There's a flag on top. At least it's patriotic.
There is. And again, the same to your department for all the work that had gone on in the last few weeks, above and beyond. Thank you for taking care of it. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the storm cleanup.
Yeah.
I know you're still going around with the chipper, getting stuff. Some residents have been leaving things out. Yeah, thank you for cleaning up. Appreciate it.
All right, and we're still open to the public, folks, so we're gonna move on to our reports, and if you have any questions at any point, just raise your hand. I'm gonna go with Commissioner Stickle.
Okay.
You have anything for us today?
We already kind of covered the stuff that Joe was doing, so I want to again commend his staff for all their storm help and flood barricades and blocking off live wires that were down, and right, Chief, and everything else. So I was down the park yesterday. The park looks amazing. I thank you for taking care of that. The turf is in great shape. Held up. Wait till we get the water bill. Held up through the drought that we had. Yep. So thank you for that. And as far as the roads go, we're kind of in a little hold pattern right now until we get into the fall. I know Julie is working on a couple of grant applications, and we'll see where that takes us. But as of right now, there's no additional road projects planned at this point in time. I'll add one thing. Mayor Summers and myself spent most of this week, yesterday and today, in court. So just want to, doing our part to defend the town as I get a dirty look from the borough attorney for,
Not a dirty look. I was upset because I was there too.
he was there too.
You didn't mention
The difference is,
Yeah, but you're getting a check.
he got paid for being there, and we really did not. At
But-
least we got a lot less per hour than
Tell
he
you,
gets.
they need to get better chairs in that courtroom too.
Yeah,
My
that
back is killing me.
bench is
It's
not
horrible.
comfortable. I should have brought a cushion.
The way you opened it
Logical
was
point.
you two were in court all week. That makes me the only innocent man
You
standing.
can go tomorrow.
No, I'm good.
Bruce is looking for a representative tomorrow
There you
to
go.
represent the borough. You could go tomorrow.
Stop right in.
I'm-
While we're on the subject, Larry,
Yes.
do you have anything for the audience today?
I do. Well, one quick, it's so exciting. They're sitting on the audit is ongoing. 2025 borough audit is ongoing. I'm meeting with the staff on Monday to go over some open items. So if anyone feels they have any questions on the audit, I can fill them in when it's done next month.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I knew you'd like that.
I just have a couple of things that kind of dovetail into what Commissioner Stickle said, and, we say this a lot, and you've probably heard me say it, because most of you have been here before, but it cannot be said enough. When the roads are flooded, do not drive through the water. And so repeat that to your kids, and to your grandkids, and to your neighbors, because for some reason, every single time the road floods, people drive into it. And then we end up with cars stuck, and the police and the fire department out there trying to get them out of the car. And our fear, not only as representatives of the borough, but as firefighters who've done this for years and police officers who've done this for years, we get cold weather here in the wintertime, and people forget how cold that water is, and it's a different ball of wax to drive into the water in December, January, and February than it is in August. It still destroys your car, but make no mistake, if you're out in that water and it's 30 degrees, 32 degrees, and it gets that temperature, believe it or not, that water is very cold. You won't last very long, especially if you're at an advanced age. So it is a very, very dangerous thing to do. So that's why we say it over and over again. And I know that sounds like, a broken record, but there's a reason why we say that. Part of the damage and stuff that went on last week before last, we did lose power significantly in the northern end of town. We had some 415 customers out at one point from just about the center of the community all the way to the Seabright border. And we worked very closely with the Jersey Central Power and Light, who we have developed a pretty good relationship with. Their representative, I was on the phone with them immediately. We received a phone call from the governor's office, and they also worked closely with us. And between those two parties, Monmouth Beach was one of the first communities to get power back in New Jersey. Our power was back before the end of the first day. We did have several people come here to our cooling center that needed to charge their phones. We had one woman who had to sleep here all night who was on an oxygen generation machine. So, the OEM did their part as well. But it's nice to know that even with the small little community we have, the relationships that we have built since we've been in office, they're working. And, I'm happy to report that to you. I have nothing to report on the Wells Fargo property this month, although I hope we'll hear something shortly. And as soon as I know, you'll know. Other than that, that's it for me for July. I have the floor open to the public. Does anybody have anything for us? Very good. I'm going to ask for a motion to close the floor
Motion to close the floor and to adjourn.
and to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Bush?
Yes.
Commissioner Simmons?
Yes.
Mayor Summers?
Yes. Thank you all. We'll see you in August.